Well, it's a little late. It's 4:50. But it's okay. Welcome, Jackie, Ismael. I'm glad you're here. And well, hello, Andres. Nice to have you here.
Good afternoon, everybody.
All right. Well, let's begin with the homework. Let's check the homework first. Page 61 in the workbook. Could you read the instructions, please, Jackie?
Rewrite the sentence in the parent sense. Use past modals must have, might have, or could have. Sometimes more than one answer is possible.
All right. Number 1, A, Ismael. B, Jackie.
I don't have the workbook.
It's okay, improvise.
Okay. There's no answer. She must have left by now.
Jackie?
Do you think she's coming by post?
I don't know. She may have decided to drive.
Okay, right here is she may have decided to drive.
I don't think so. Her car broken down. It was in the garbage last night. It's couldn't have possible she got it back yet.
Right there is she couldn't have gotten it back yet. She couldn't have gotten it back yet. Okay. Number 2, Andres A and Jackie B.
Yes. And did I tell you someone robbed Dana last week and stole her purse?
Oh, awful. She must have been scared.
Well, she was scared and first. The funny thing was she knew the thief. She went to school with him, but Dana looks really different now. So it's possible he he, he may have didn't recognize her.
Right here you can put he might not have recognized her, or he may not have recognized her. Okay, next.
Okay.
Did she tell him that she knew him?
Maybe she may she may have told him.
Yeah, she may have told me. Excellent.
Well, I hope she responds to the police.
¿Te puedo encargar el pollo bien cocido, por favor?
Nice, delicious.
I'm sorry.
All right. Number 4. Ismail, could you read the instructions and number 1?
Read the situation. Use past models to complete sentences with possible reasons why these situations happen. Your roommate.
Are you okay?
Oh,
Are you okay? What happened?
what? I read?
Yes, number 1, please.
I read? No? Oh, what?
No, your microphone was off.
Oh, sorry. Your roommate overslept and missed an important meeting at work. She could have stayed up too late the night before. She might not have set her alarm clock.
Okay, number 2, Jackie. Your best friend hasn't called you in a week.
She maybe have been busy and she couldn't have forgotten to answer me.
All right, number 3, Andres. Your grandparents forgot your birthday.
They may not have had cell phone.
Yes. They might.
They may have forgotten. Sorry.
Yes. Okay, and number 4, Jackie. Your sister can't find her favorite CD.
She must have forgotten when she put her favorite CD.
That's good. All right, Jackie, nice. And the next one?
And she could have found on her bedroom.
She could have what?
Found.
All right. Nice. Any questions about this? No?
Teacher, always the verb is in past participle, right?
Yes, sir.
Or only in past? No.
Yeah, only past participle. Okay. Well, look, now we're going to review a little bit we're going to have a little review on what we discussed yesterday. Okay, yesterday we were talking about may have, could have, etc. Remember, must have is like saying I bet. Okay? Could have is like saying it's possible. Okay? May and might have it's possible, but with a less probability. And then we have the negative forms, which would be couldn't have or couldn't have. That means it's not possible. might and may not have means it's not likely. Okay, it's not likely. Not impossible, but it's not very likely. All right. So we have must have, could have, may or might have, couldn't have, may or might not have. So in total we have 8 modal verbs. Okay. In the grammatically speaking, these are called past modals. Okay. Now past modals, who cares about that? What matters is how to use it, right? So what I'm about to do is I'm going to put some pictures on the screen, and I want you to tell me, what do you think happened? What do you think happened in each situation? Okay, let me give you an example. Everybody, can you see this woman? Yes?
Yes.
All right. So this is Laura. What do you think happened to Laura? All right. I want you to respond. I want you to respond using the modals. Okay. What do you think happened to Laura? For example, she might have lost her cell phone. Maybe that's why she's crying. Why is she crying? All right. Let's see. Let's begin with Andres. Andres, what do you think happened to Laura?
She might have fight with her boyfriend.
She might have fought.
Fought, yes.
All right. And Ismael, what do you think?
What?
About the picture, man. This is Laura. What do you think happened to Laura?
She made a break with his girlfriend, with her boyfriend.
She might have what?
Huh?
She might have what?
She may have a break up with her boyfriend.
Okay, but what is break in the past participle?
Broken.
Yeah. So can you say the sentence again, please, correctly?
She may have or might have broken up with her boyfriend.
Yeah, she might have broken up with her boyfriend. Exactly. All right. And Jackie, what do you think?
She might have broken her leg.
Very good. Not good, but good example. And all right, here's the next picture. All right, so the woman is yelling at her husband. Why do you think the woman is yelling at her husband? Andres?
She may have seen bad message in her phone.
May have seen a bad message on her phone. Okay, okay. And what do you think, Jackie?
And he might have washed the clothes.
You might what?
He might not have washed the clothes.
Washed.
Washed.
Okay, okay, very good. Yes. And Ismael, what do you think?
He may have bought something.
Something stupid, right?
Yeah.
Okay, okay. Sounds good, sounds good. All right, so this is a car accident, um, a big car accident. What do you think happened here? Andres?
Mm, it may have uh, had a party
Who?
in the place,
Who?
in the place, in that place.
Oh,
No?
they might have had a party at that place right there.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. Cool. And you, Jackie, what do you think happened?
They might have drunk a lot.
They might have drunk a lot. All right, I like that one. And Ismael?
He may have been very sad.
They might have what?
He he may have been very sad.
I don't understand. What do you mean by that?
For example, he suicided,
Oh, he might have
or
been what?
he didn't think the things clearly.
Whoa.
He might not have thought things clearly. No?
Yeah,
Say it correctly, man. I want you to say it correctly.
I don't know. I
He
think I don't know.
maybe he might not have been thinking clearly.
I mean, he might have no. What? I need this. What is? Oh yeah. He may not have seen clearly. Seen so clearly.
Okay. Okay, okay. Sounds good, sounds good. And the last one, let's change the roles. Now the man is yelling at the woman. Why? Why do you think the man is yelling at the woman? What do you think happened here?
She
Andres?
may have um, broke his PlayStation.
He might have broken his PlayStation. Yes. Excellent. All right. And next, Jackie?
She might have Broken, no, lost his video game. I don't know.
Okay, she had lost his video games. That's a good one.
They
And
copied.
Ismael?
He might have found something in her cell phone.
Oh, he might have found something in himself. Yes, yes. All right. Sounds good to me. Well, you know, all of you gave good responses pretty much, you know. Um, Ismael, you know, at the end, you gave a better response, good answers. And, you know, what we did is, you know, we are just thinking, we are giving our hypotheses, no, we are speculating, guessing about these situations. We don't know what happened. We're just thinking about the different possibilities. Okay? And that's what we were talking about yesterday and Tuesday. All right? And today, we're going to do something like a conversation class. All right? I want you to please open up your student books to page 80. Student book page 80. Line 16. I'm looking at my cell phone for the times up here. July 16, 2020. And the objective for today is to use expressions like I had that happen to me, to share experiences. To share experiences. And also to use like in six different ways. Fernando, we're on page 80, Touchstone 4, Unit 8, Lesson C. And, well, let's get started. You know, this is a conversation class, as I said earlier. And, you know, a lot of times we have conversations with people and they are sharing an experience that they had, right? They are sharing an experience that they had. For example, the other day, my grandpa was telling me about how when he was a kid, you know, it was very difficult for him because his family was very poor. He didn't have, you know, sometimes he didn't have food to eat, and you know, he had to work as a little kid. You know, he was telling me about his experience, right? And you can use an expression like, I had that happen to me. Let me highlight that for you. I had that happen to me. You can use an expression like that to talk about an experience that you had. Um, Usually something that is similar to the other person. So my grandpa was telling me how when he was young, he had a difficult time with food and he had to work at a young age. And I told my grandpa, I was like, I had something like that happen to me too. When I was 11 years old, my mom didn't, you know, my dad left and my mom didn't had a job, but it was not a good job. So I had to start working at the age of 11. and things like that. So I started sharing my experience that was similar to his about the struggles when we were younger, right? So that's what we're gonna begin with right now. But the experience that me and my grandpa shared was a sad one, you know. The one that we're gonna talk about today is about rude experiences, when we have experiences with rude people. Jackie, what is the title of this lesson?
Speaking of rude people,
Yes, read the instructions for 1A, please.
which person below has had an experience similar to AS?
So we have to pay attention to A. Which person had a similar experience to A? B or C? B or C? All right. Let's see. Jackie, you are A. Andres, you are B. Ismail, C.
A woman on the bus today refused to move her bag so I could sit down.
That happened to me last week.
People can be so rude sometimes.
So we need to focus on A. A woman on the bus today refused to move her bag so I could sit down. Which person had a similar activity, a similar experience? B, that happened to me last week, or C, people can be rude sometimes. Which one is similar to A? Anybody?
Um, A.
Yeah, but which one is similar to A? B or C?
Oh,
Which one
C.
had a similar experience?
C.
What'd you say?
C. A.
C?
C.
Why?
Because she was rude.
Okay. But which person had a similar experience? See, the person here in A, a woman on the bus today refused to move her bag so I can sit down. That is her experience. She's complaining. She's talking about rude people. Then B says, that happened to me last week. That happened to me last week. That means that I had a similar experience last week. Does that make sense? So basically, A and B had the same experiences. Went on the bus today, refused to move her bag so I could sit down. That happened to me last week. Okay, we both had the same experiences. Now, let's begin with the lesson. Um, but before we begin, Okay, these are 3 words that we're going to see today. Knock something over or knock someone over. This means that you maybe accidentally or on purpose make something fall. Okay, you make something fall. Let me give you an example. Maybe you can see it here on the okay. You see here I have this lint roller, you know. But sometimes when I stand up, I knock it over on accident. When I knock it over, I take it out of its place by force. I am knocking it over. You can knock something over like a thing, and you can also knock people over. Like in American football, you knock a person over, you hit them, and you make them fall. Or on the acabus, you know, when it's really, really packed full of people, sometimes the people have to knock each other over to get out. Does anybody know what a subway is? What is a subway?
What's what, teacher?
Subway.
Metro?
Yes, a metro. All right. And block something. Block something. When you think about block something, I want you to think about a goalie in soccer. You know, when the other team tries to kick the ball into the goal, he blocks the ball, right? Same thing happens with other things, you know. When you try to go to a club or to a bar, the security guard blocks the entrance. They protect the entrance. These are words that we're going to see today. All right, now look at this. Look at the picture. Look at the picture. How many people do you see, Jackie?
3.
3. Where are they?
How do you say ascensor? Well, okay.
How do you say what?
Ascensor?
I don't know what that is. What is that? A place?
Ascensor
Elevator?
on the rear.
Elevator?
Yes, they're at the elevator. All right. Okay. Yes, in the elevator. Do they look happy?
No.
No? Okay, so these 2 are friends. This is the woman, her name is Mara, and this guy is Hal. And this is some rude guy, okay? Some rude guy. I want you to please listen to the conversation. Listen to Mara and Hal. What annoys them? What annoys them?
Speaking of rude people, 1. Conversation strategy. Sharing experiences. A. Now listen to Mara and Hal. What annoys them?
Hey, that guy almost knocked you over getting off the elevator.
Yeah, he acted like we were in his way.
I get so annoyed with people like that.
Me too. Like, I get upset when people push on the subway. It's so rude.
Yeah, and speaking of rude people, how about the people who stand right in front of the subway doors and won't let you get off?
Oh, I had that happen to me just last night. These guys were like totally blocking the doors. And when I tried to get past them, they were like, "What's your problem?"
That reminds me of the time I got on the subway with my grandfather, and all these people pushed ahead of him to get seats.
Isn't he like 80 years old?
Yeah, I probably should have said something, but I didn't.
Okay, so what annoys Mara and Hal?
Because they saw a man that was good.
Okay. That annoys them, rude people?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, yes. That's true. And what happened to Mara's grandfather? What happened to her grandfather?
All these people push ahead of him to get sealed.
Yes, to get seats, right? That's really bad because his grandpa is like 80 years old, right? Almost 80, around 80. It's crazy. And well, these expressions right here. Notice how Mara and Hal use expressions like these to share their experiences. Find examples in the conversation. Can you please turn on your microphones and repeat after me? Okay, here we go. I had that happen to me.
I had that happen to me.
That happened to me.
That happened to
To
me.
me,
I had a similar experience.
I had a similar
A similar
experience.
experience.
That reminds me of,
It reminds
That
me of
reminds me of.
and that's like,
That's
like,
like.
speaking of,
Speaking of.
very good, very good. Which expressions do you see in the conversation?
That reminds me of.
That reminds me of. What else? What else? There are two more.
I had that happen to me.
I had that happen to me last night. And one more. Can you see the last one? No? Look, the last one is this. And speaking of rude people, how about the people who stand right in front of the subway doors and won't let you out? Okay, that's the last one. I want you to practice this conversation. I'm about to put you in groups. Okay? Jackie, you're going to practice with Ismael. And Andres, you're going to stay here with me. All right? Practice the conversation one time and then switch roles and practice it again. Okay? Go to your grupo pequeño, please. All right, Andres, are you ready, man?
Yes.
Let's start this conversation.
Yes.
You're Mara.
Okay. Hey, that guy almost knocked you over getting off the elevator.
Yeah, he acted like we were in his way.
I get so annoyed with some people like that.
Me too. Like, I get upset when people push on the subway. It's so rude.
Yeah, and speaking of rude people, how about the people who stand right in front of the subway doors and won't let you get off?
Oh, I had that happen to me last night. These guys were like totally blocking the doors. And when I tried to get past them, they were like, what's your problem?
That reminds me of the time I got on the subway with my grandfather, and all these people pushed ahead of him to get seats.
Is,
Of him to get seats.
isn't he like 80 years old?
Yeah, I probably should have said something, but I didn't.
Okay. Hey, that guy almost knocked you over getting off the elevator. Yes.
Sorry?
Said, hey, that guy almost knocked you over getting off the elevator.
Yeah, he acted like we were in his way.
I get so annoyed with people like that.
Me too. Like, I get upset when people push on the subway. It's so rude.
Yeah, and speaking of rude people, how about the people who stand right in front of the subway doors and won't let you get off?
Oh, I had that happened to me just last night. This guy were like totally blocking the doors, and when I tried to get past them, they were like, "What's your problem?"
That reminds me of the time I got on the subway with my grandfather, and all of these people rushed ahead of him to get seats.
Isn't he like 80 years old?
Yeah, I probably should have said something, but I didn't. Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent, excellent. Are you at work, man?
Teacher, I am in Pollo Caliente.
Oh,
I
nice.
get off to eat. Is it off? It's okay.
I went out to eat. No.
I went out. Oh yes, I went out.
Are you at the Pollo Caliente that has air conditioning?
No, it has not air conditioner.
Oh, okay, okay. So it's not the luxury Pollo Caliente.
No, no. But I'll return to my job, to my work.
What time do you go back?
At 6:30.
English and lunch.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Jackie, could you read exercise B, please?
Match the comments and responses, then practice with a partner.
All right. Let's see. Number one. I complained about the service in a restaurant once, and the waiter got really angry. What is correct? A, B, C, or D?
C?
It is C, yes. C, yes. All right. You have 2 minutes. Please finish this exercise. Andres, you read the comments, please, and Ismael, you read the responses.
Okay. Number 1, I complained about the service in a restaurant. Or I begin with that number 2, teacher?
Yes.
At the movie last night, the people behind me were talking the whole time. It was so rude.
Just like my brother-in-law, he's never on time and he never apologizes.
Oh.
It's okay.
Number 2 is A.
It's not D. Teacher?
It's not D. You said it's not D. Yes, it is D. It is D. D for dog. Number 3.
This woman yelled at me for queuing in line at the bank. At the end of the release, there was a line.
B?
Read it, please.
I had that happen to me, so I couldn't tell if there were 4 lines or just one.
And number 4.
For I used to have this friend who was late every time we meet for dinner. It drove me crazy.
That's like my brother-in-law, he's never on time and he never apologizes.
All right, excellent. Let's go to the next page. All right, everybody are here? Next page, page 81. Strategy plus like. Okay, we can use like in 6 different ways. All right, we can use it to say something is similar. He acted like we were in his way. To say something is similar. He looks like his mom. He looks similar to his mom. Oh, chicken tastes like rabbit. Okay. To say something is similar. We can also use like to highlight something, and this is very informal. They were like totally blocking the doors. It's something that white chicks say. They were like totally blocking the doors. They were like totally ugly. They were like all in my way. It's to highlight. It's informal. You can use it as a verb to, you know, I like tacos. I like to drink water. Okay. Let me see, let me put the spotlight. So we have three things so far. To say something is similar, to highlight something, and to say something that you like. The other one is to say approximately. This is very common. Isn't he like 80 years old? Acapulco is like 100 degrees Celsius. And in Acapulco, there are like 800,000 people. It's approximately, it's a guess. You can use like to report what someone said. All right. They were like, comma, and what's your problem? They were like, do you have any extra salsa? They were like, what are your hobbies? You know, to report what the person said. You remember reported speech? Okay. And also to give an example. Okay. I like Mexican food, like tacos, mole, enchiladas, etc. Some of these you know already. All right. Okay. Jackie, please read A.
Read what Amy says about a friend. Use like to replace the underlined words and add other words you need. Then listen and check your answers.
I want to use like to replace the underlying words. Okay. I have this friend, Justin, who's very emotional. Like, comma, 1 minute he's laughing and the next minute he's like totally depressed. Okay. Please complete this exercise. You're going to add like and also add other words if necessary. Okay. You have 2 minutes. Ismael, please work quickly. Jackie, can you read it, please?
I have this friend Justin who's very emotional. Like, I have to say comma.
No, it's not necessary.
Like 1 minute he's laughing, and the next time he's like totally depressed. Some weird thing happened, and he says like, "I'm so upset. I guess he's like too sensitive." Actually, he is the same as. Actually, he's like me. Maybe that's why we get along. We've been friends for like 10 years.
All right. The only one that you had to add a word in is after says. He's like, she's like, because when you are going to report something, you need to use the verb be. And he's like, I'm so upset. All right. Cancel says, cancels, I say this, cancel the same as, cancel about. All right. And now let's do exercise B very quickly. Listen to what else Amy says. Mark the spaces where she uses the word like with the symbol how is she using like in each case? All right, so wherever we hear like, we are going to put a little symbol like this. Okay, like a little triangle. Okay, so listen to all the places where this person says like.
Page 81. 2. Strategy plus. Like. A. Read what Amy.
I have this friend Justin who's very emotional. Like, 1 minute
Page 81. 2. Strategy plus. Like. B. Listen to what else Amy says. Mark the places where she uses the word like with this symbol. How is she using like in each case?
Anyway, he gets upset easily. Like, he gets hurt if you don't call him back, like, right away. And then he worries that he must have said something wrong. So he, like, calls and apologizes. And I'm like, what are you talking about? But he's sensitive in a good way, too. Like, when I'm upset, he's always sympathetic. He'll spend, like, 2 hours listening to my problems.
Yes, some people actually speak like that. All right. Remember to put the little triangle wherever you hear like. Let's do it one more time together.
Page 81. 2. Strategy plus. Like. B. Listen to what else Amy says. Mark the places where she uses the word like with this symbol. How is she using like in each case?
Anyway, he gets upset easily. Like, he gets hurt if you don't call him back, like, right away. And then he worries that he must have said something wrong. So he, like, calls and apologizes. And I'm like, what are you talking about? But he's sensitive in a good way, too. Like, when I'm upset, he's always sympathetic. He'll spend, like, 2 hours listening to my problems.
Okay, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Do you have 6 places where she used like?
Yes.
Yes? Okay. Remember, we use like in 6 different ways. So let's try to see if we can understand what different ways this person uses like. Anyway, he gets upset easily. Like, he gets hurt if you don't call him back right away. What do you think that is? Like, he gets hurt if you don't call him back right away. Like, he gets hurt if you don't call him right away. Is that to say something similar, to highlight something, to mean another thing, to say approximately, to report what someone said, or to give an example? He gets upset easily. Like he gets hurt if nobody calls him back right away.
To give an example,
Yes, give an example. Very good. Like he gets upset easily. Like he gets hurt if you don't call him back like right away. Like right away is to highlight something. Like right away. And then he worries that he must have said something wrong. So he like calls and apologizes. So he like calls and apologizes.
he say something is similar.
Yes, something similar. And then I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm like, what are you talking about? What is that?
Example.
Oh no. Let's look right here. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Jackie, what do you think it is?
To repose what someone said.
To report what someone said. Yes. But he's sensitive in a good way too. Like when I'm upset, he's always sympathetic. Like when I'm upset, he's always sympathetic. In what way are they using like? He's sensitive in a good way too. Like when I'm upset, he's always sympathetic.
To highlight something.
No. But he's sensitive in a good way too. Like when I'm upset, come on. But he's sensitive in a good way. Like when I'm upset, he's always sympathetic. What do you think that is, Ismael? Nobody. Right there. But he's sensitive in a good way too. Like when I'm upset, is to give an example. He's sensitive in a good way too. For example, when I'm upset, he's always sympathetic. And he'll spend like 2 hours listening to my problems. Approximately. He'll spend like 2 hours listening to my problems. Okay?
Yes.
All right. So we are finished for today. But what did we talk about today? What's one thing that you learned?
Models and use of light.
Use of light. Okay. Use
And
light in different ways.
the models.
Man, the models were yesterday.
And today, you know?
Today was just a review. Just a review.
Okay. Sorry, my friend.
In the first part, what did we do? What did we do here? What was the purpose of those expressions? Anybody? No? Remember, we use these expressions right here to share a similar experience, right? To share experiences. I guess maybe if you do the homework, you'll understand it a little better. So your homework is going to be pages 62 and 63 in the workbook. And the homework is a little difficult, okay? So, you know, if you have any doubts, you know, please send me a message during the weekend and I will help you with that. All right?
Right.
All right, guys. Well, I got to go to my next class. So I will
Thank
see
you.
you on Monday and have a nice weekend.
Thank you, teacher.
Well,
See you.